Hey, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. Welcome to the Business Convo Marketing Podcast. As a business owner, you've likely seen a lot of marketing campaigns, some of them that's worked very well, while others may have not worked so well. So the question is, how do you decipher between the ones that have worked very well compared to those that have not worked so well? Well, this podcast will answer those questions for you. And specifically, will help you to decipher the ones that have been successful, why are they successful, and pull out those exact elements from those marketing campaigns and that information over to you so that way you can implement it in your business and start getting results as soon as possible. Welcome aboard and let's go. How's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So, hey, I started a new Facebook group, and I want to tell you as the listeners of this podcast how you can benefit from it. So essentially, you guys probably already know that I host a meetup. And in that meetup, there's probably a little over 200 members in that meetup group. And then earlier this week, I got probably like the second or the third notification from Meetup saying that one of the groups in the local area, the organizer for that group was stepping down. So because the organizer for that group was stepping down, that group had about 300 plus people in it. Meetup was looking for a new organizer. So I'm one of the individuals that Meetup sent the notification to. So I decided to kind of just, step up and take on the organizer role. And as the organizer of this new meetup, now I have two meetup groups, and combined, those two meetup groups have over 500 people in those meetup groups. One of the things that I had sent an email to this new group, basically welcoming myself, and to kind of just let them know that the new direction of the group. And one of the things that I had got is they wanted to kind of find a way to kind of just better network with each other. So I thought to myself, why not just create a group? So that's precisely what I did. I created a group, and in that group, what it does is going to allow them to network with the business owners. And it's a golden opportunity for anyone that's in business, or if you're not in business, you're looking to be in business in the future, because here it is, you have the opportunity to just network with like-minded individuals. And anytime you can be in a group with other business owners, in a group with people that are looking to start a business, the value that can come from that can be very, very big. Sometimes the individuals themselves can kind of just create bonds and create partnerships and be able to share resources. So what's going to happen in that group is that people are going to be able to ask questions, and myself and other members of the group will be able to answer those questions. All of the answers won't come from me, to be honest with you, because I'm not the know-it-all. You have some seasoned business owners in the group that may have experienced some things that you might be looking for. We might have some people that are looking to start a business. The thing is with the group that, the meetup group that I've hosted, all of the individuals in that group were not all business owners. Some of them were future business owners. So I created a group. And what I'm going to share with you today on this podcast is I'm going to share with you the first video that I actually recorded for that group. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in that recording here shortly. But I want to invite you to join the group so that way you can get the value and get the benefit from it as well. Obviously, you can go ahead and once you're inside of the group, you can respond to the post. You can tell people a little bit about you, what it is that you do, or you can just kind of just be in the group and just start to kind of just soak up some of the information. You can specifically start to see some of the questions that are being asked and how we may respond to some of those questions. Obviously, this is a free group to join. The group is called Sales Funnel for Entrepreneurs. So essentially, you can go ahead and join that group. What I'm going to do is I'm going to include a link somewhere on this episode page so that way you can see the link and you can request to join the link that way. And the other way you can request to join the group is by going to Facebook. It's a Facebook group, and typing in, Sales Funnel for Entrepreneurs. If you type in those exact words, you'll be able to go ahead and send me a request, and I'll be able to go ahead and approve you to join the group. So without further ado, I am going to drop in the audio that I recorded, or I should say the video that I recorded from that group, as a way for you to listen in to this episode. Talk to you soon. Hey there, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. And hey, this is my first Facebook Live in this group, essentially. Welcome to the group, Sales Funnels for Entrepreneurs. And essentially, I just wanted to kind of jump on and discuss a specific topic with you guys tonight. And the topic is the big secret behind successful presidential campaign and what you can learn from it. So the presidential campaign that I want to talk about is I want to talk about um, the former president of Haiti. He goes by Michel Martelly. And essentially, I want to talk about some of the things that he's done that's allowed him to be successful, and what you specifically, you that's listening to this, how you can use that same thing to how you can include those same principles in your marketing, regardless of what it is that you do. So to put things into context, let's just talk about how this guy was viewed before he was a president. So this individual, Mr. Martelly, he was an entertainer. He was in the music industry. He was producing music, and he did well as an artist. Some people, loved him, and others were saying, it was kind of edgy for some other individuals because of his style, because of his tone, because of his choice of words. Sometimes some people just didn't agree with his style of music. Those individuals who like a PG type of music didn't really listen to him. But then again, you had other individuals that rallied, that really believed in him. So at the end of the day, he was a very successful entertainer, right? He had a specific audience. Some of the things that I talk about in marketing, you can't please everybody, right? You got to please a specific group of individual, and those specific group of individual can allow you to be very successful, whether it be in a music career, in business, or whatever it is that you do, right? It's not, whatever it is that you do is not for everyone. So he knew that early on in his music, that his type of music, his style of music would not welcome everyone, and he was perfectly okay with that. So he did very well as a musician. And then when it was time for him to run for the president, I recall having some conversations with some individuals that were saying that, man, this guy is not going to win. He's not going to win the election. And specifically, they were saying he wasn't going to win the election because of some of the things that he'd done as an entertainer. As an entertainer, he was very edgy. He used some not so good choice of words, and he was just basically on edge as it relates to some of the music and some of the style of music. So the individuals mentioned that he wasn't going to win. Well, guess what? They were not correct. He did indeed end up winning. So what are some of the things that he did in his music that he probably did in his, I didn't follow his campaign 100% closely, but some of the things that he did in his music that he probably did in his campaign is he helped people to kind of just rally for something, a new movement, so to speak. And just so, how do I know that? Because recently I was watching some performances from him, and I saw some very key marketing elements, some key things that he did in his performance. So specifically, one of the things that he was talking about in his performance. Now, keep in mind, just to kind of put this into context again, this is an individual who was a musician before he went into presidency, became a president, and then now he's in his 50s. He's performing music again, and he's performing music. In my opinion, he's doing a better job than in terms of working the crowd, in terms of kind of just movement and everything. He's doing a better job than some of the younger performers. So he does a very, very good job. But some things that I noticed that he's done is he he calls out his audience, specifically calls out his audience and tells his audience some of the things that they should do. So one of the things that he's done in his music, the performance that I was looking at not so long ago, is he was talking about how him and his band, they were able to perform and or please their partner three times a day consistently. So he kept saying that over and over again. And when he would say that, the crowd went crazy. Yeah, man, me and my group, me and my entertainers, we are consistent, man. In the morning, midday, and the evening, we're consistent. How many people that can do that? How many other band members do you know that can do that? They can't do that. They can't hang with us. So those are the things he was saying. And every time he would say that, right, the crowd would go crazy, right? I mean, I'm not saying that you should talk about that exact same thing in your marketing, because obviously if you start to talk about sex in your marketing, that may not be something that's appropriate. But what is it that you can talk about in your marketing that can kind of just help you rally and have other people kind of just agree with, so to speak? And specifically what he was doing is he was talking about something that is a human need, essentially. Obviously sex is a human need. Obviously a lot of people can relate to it. Obviously he knows who his audience is. And if you can do the exact same thing, if you can kind of have someone relate to something that's a human need, have them rally around whatever that human need is, whether it be health, income, whatever that human need is, have people rally around that specific human need, then you have yourself a winner. You can begin to create content around that type of stuff. And when you create content around that type of stuff, you can kind of just you can end up having a winner. The other thing that I noticed that that he's done is he was throwing rocks at his enemies. Essentially, he was throwing rocks at the other band members. I can recall him calling out probably 4 or 5 of the other popular Haitian bands in his genre, and just saying, "Oh, this band has this flaw," and the crowd would just go, whoa, 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 whoa. The crowd would just, rally, would agree. This band had that flaw. This band had that flaw. So all of this he was doing in his performance. I was watching his performance a couple of weeks ago. Mind you, this is a performance. This is not a performance that he did, prior to him being a president. So this is not a performance he did when he was in his 20s. This is a performance that he's doing in his late 50s, after he's had a career in music, had a career, became a president, and now in his later age, late 50s, still performing and still moving the crowd like no one's business, right? He's still using what I saw as a student of marketing as key marketing elements to help just kind of just have people rally and have people kind of just follow his movement, so to speak. In your marketing, your goal is to have people kind of just follow your brand. Your goal is to have people to kind of connect with you. And just the way that he was doing it, each time he would mention another artist that is in his genre and would kind of just call out one of their flaws, the crowd would go crazy. And he did that over and over and over and over again. And I said to myself, man, how brilliant. I said to myself, now I see, regardless of the fact that some people did not agree with some of the things that he did, some of the music he performed prior to him going into presidency. Now I see how he could win the election. So I could see him, as he was running for the campaign, I could see him knowing one of the pain points, or identifying the pain points of his target market, and basically showing his target market a roadmap to, hey, I understand that this is your pain point, and this is where I'm going to take you. I'm going to have you be able to do this. I'm going to have you be able to get this result, that outcome. So I can see him kind of just painting that picture in his campaign for his audience to follow. A lot of people said that there were people that were much more qualified than this individual. A lot of people said there were people that had been in the government much longer than him. There were people that had been student of the political game for a very long time. But yet you have this individual who was a music artist that came in and basically stole the show, essentially. And I remember just having a conversation with an individual that's saying, hey, there's no way this person is going to win. He has no background. He has no experience. But what did he have, though? He had marketing skills. He knew how to, how to create a brand around himself. He knew how to get people to rally behind a specific cause. He knew how to, tactfully and diplomatically throw rocks at his enemy, right? All of the things he was doing in his music, I could imagine he probably did those exact same things in his campaign, right? So you who's listening to this, you can employ those same exact tactics as well. You can identify a movement for your specific audience to let them know that, hey, this thing here that you're doing, stop doing it. It doesn't work. Come over here. Do this instead. So specifically, one of the campaigns that I'm working on right now is I'm working on a campaign that's talking about, throwing a sales strip in the trash can. So, the notion is that, a lot of people who have worked sales job and worked in sales position, they were handed a sales strip, and the sales strip doesn't have a lot of flexibility, right? It's verbatim. They want you to follow the sales script word for word. They want you to not deviate from the script. But then again, that same exact sales script has allowed a lot of people to lose their jobs. It's allowed a lot of people to not be successful as it relates to that specific career. So in my marketing campaign, guess what I'm talking about? Guess what I'm encouraging people to do? I'm encouraging people to, hey, I know that this whole sales script that you're handed that was handed to you by your organization or by some organization is not effective. Get rid of it, right? Get rid of it. That sales script doesn't work anymore. You know what? I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you something that is going to help you, something that's going to be flexible, something that's going to allow you to be able to speak to your audience, something that's customizable. So I'm saying, hey, get rid of that sales script, right? I'm saying to them, hey, I know that you know someone that have been a victim to this sales script. This sales script has caused a lot of people to lose their job. This sales script has probably caused you to lose your job. And it's just a painful thing. There's no flexibility. It's a one size fit all. Get rid of it, right? Get rid of the sales script. Instead, come use this thing here that I've created for you. So I am basically connecting with something that, this specific audience have already used or have used. I know someone that's been affected by it, and I'm telling them, hey, come on over, man. I got something completely new for you, right? So, that's me kind of just showing them a new cause, a new movement, so to speak. And I'm throwing rocks at, the enemy. I'm throwing rocks at, the thing that doesn't work. So essentially, there's probably a way for you to do the exact same thing in your marketing. And then if you can tap into a basic human need as well, just as this guy, just as the former president has, you have yourself a winner. So those are the elements that I saw as it relates to the marketing campaign, and as it relates to some things that you can employ, some things that you can go ahead and apply in your marketing as soon as possible. Hey, thanks for listening. Again, welcome aboard, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers. Thanks for listening. Do you want to attract leads as soon as possible? Be sure to go to my website at vladimirdarnes.com and download your free lead magnet how-to video. It's a step-by-step video that will teach you how to generate and create a lead magnet to attract leads as soon as possible and start making sales. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast and subscribe as soon as possible. Thanks for listening.